Hello guys, so as you can see, I am 14-0. This is a post commentary, so the game's already been played, but the point of this video is to show you the final game of my FUT Champs run. Obviously the SBMM is high, there's going to be stuff to learn from, it's a high level game, and this is my game for 15-0. So hopefully you can take bits of this that I'm going to show you, implement it into your own game, and that's going to help you improve as a player. If you enjoy this style of video, please do leave a like and subscribe for more. And also, if you guys do want the best possible team of the season rewards, link is in the description. Spaces are filling out, so be quick. You know, if you're somebody that's done it last year or the year before, or even if it's your first time, the spaces do run out. So be prepared, get in, get the best rewards, and let's get into the video. If you need the cheapest FC25 coins to build your super team, then check out MMOEXP by clicking the link down below and use code JambooUK for 8% off. Okay, so this is our opponent's team, and as you can imagine, you know, being the game for 15-0, this is pretty, it's going to be pretty sweaty. You know, it tends to match you when you're at that sort of elo against someone with at least a similar one. So if I had to guess, I'd say this guy, at the worst case, was probably like 12-1. So you're guaranteed for your 15-0 game to match a good player. So I knew I had to look in for it. Okay, so kicking off, our opponent going for a little kickoff routine. What I've been trying to do, I really locked in to try and get this 15-0. I thought it was quite important that I get one because it's been a while. What you see happen there is just so unlucky. Like, if we go back, we actually defend this quite well, and this is a good example. You know, even if you're doing the right thing on FC25, sometimes you just have to accept that things can go against you, and it's so important to not lose your head, because, you know, if you look at this here, we're defending with the second man press. He's obviously got his runner going in behind. We actually defend it well there. I don't know why the screen's tearing. We defend it well, and then it just bounces straight back to him. And from that point, we're just in massive trouble. So what's really important there is to just try and keep your head. From my kickoffs, I always do that, you know, where I take it to the short guy who's close, and then we just spread the ball out wide. We try and line up like a potential sprint boost there, sort of rush the pass in. A little bit of a nervy start because this was like going to be my first 15-0 in quite a while. So I knew I had to lock in. Using that second man press again there, our opponent gets into a dangerous position. Keeper movement sort of bails us out. Taking our time here. You see how I'm sort of jogging around in the midfield? That's just to wait for potential options. We spread the ball out wide and we line up a Trivela there. Potentially could have flown in. It was just, you know, it's a little bit far out and a little bit of a weird angle. But there's something that you need to be implementing into your game, like, for sure. But you can see, you know, the ideas that this opponent's coming out with. It is not easy to play against. It's very unpredictable. You know, you've got over-the-top through balls coming in. We've recycled the ball into midfield there. Just taking our time, trying not to rush anything. See if our opponent's actually going to commit to a press, because as soon as people start running out of position on FC25, that is when the space is going to open up, and it's actually pretty easy to break someone down. So we managed to beat the press here. We get the ball towards the edge, a little double tap pass, unfortunately just offside. You can see as soon as our opponent takes his free kick, I am using an offside trap there. That's purely just to push the team up and try and give the opponent as little room as possible. You can see the way that I'm pressing is I'm mixing in that second man press along with manually positioning the other player who I'm controlling. And we're doing it like that. You can see here, we sort of head the ball back to our fullback. We get a little bit fortunate with that bounce. We go for a double tap pass here. And our opponent does defend it very, very well. This guy was a really good player. Very difficult to break down. And at this point in the game, I was worried. Very easy to lose your head, you know, especially how we did score that first goal. You can see here, we got the runner in behind. Get it into Rooney. Beautiful sprint boost there. And the keeper ends up saving it. If we actually go back there, I will show you something that's very worth note. So you get into this area here. You see how I'm sort of jogging with Rooney? This is where you're holding L1 and you're lining up that sprint boost, and what you're waiting for is the defender to commit to one side or the other. As soon as you see him like step up or down, that's where you want to sprint boost the other way. So you see here, he committed down, and then with Rooney, we can just L1 sprint boost past him, and they're left in absolute no man's land. But it's a good save by the keeper. We do end up winning a corner here. This is my routine for corners. So I go short, I play to the guy next to him, and then from there we sort of dribble towards the box, and I'm looking for players that are free in the middle. So here, managed to get the ball into Blanc, one touch and just a first time shot, and I was pretty surprised, to be fair, that it ended up going in. The beauty of the current power curve, I don't know whether it is a beauty or, you know, whether it is, to be honest, but everybody's just good. Like, even centre-backs can shoot. So, I thought even on Blanc's weaker foot, I don't know whether that card's got 5-star weak foot. It may well do, either 4 or 5. But I knew that I could hit it. Here, got to be careful. You know, we're trying to weigh it up, holding the jockey, and we end up getting fortunate because that could have quite easily gone in. Kickoff is kickoff, though. You know, you're just not always going to be able to defend it. We do win the header with Hullet there, and now we have a counter-attack. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the mini-map just to see who's available and see any potential options. You need to be triggering your players on runs as well with L1 and player locks. That's very important. But you see here, taking our time, just even stopping there with Rashford, you know, to wait for players to move up. Very important. You can't always be on the move. Just stopping and starting is very important. Wait for the right runners. We have the ball with Rooney. We play the ball out wide. And then that is super important because that is a green timed finish. And I'm telling you right now that without the green timing, there is no way that this ball goes into the back of the net from this angle. I guarantee you the keeper saves it. But with the green timed finish, you can see I'm using the indicator, absolutely flies into the back of the net. And it is happy days. So we find ourselves 2-1 up now. And in a pretty good position. Our opponent, of course, from a kickoff, nearly creates an opportunity. But from here, a sprint boost out wide. And it's way too early to be, like, managing the game from this point. Like, I know that I need more goals, you know, in this position. That's going to be important. But taking our time again. Using that driven pass all the time. Super important. It's going to be what splits the lines. You know, if you're just somebody who's using normal passes all the time, you need to be implementing that driven pass. But that is a bit of high-level magic, to be honest with you. I was very proud of this goal. So we take the throw-in. What I like to do is I switch to, like, the furthest player that's in the attacking area, and I run them away from the opponent's defenders and then take the throw-in instantly. That catches people off guard. From here, I can see that I've not really got too much support, or any support for that matter, in the box. However, I do have runners coming in, so I needed to think on the spot of a way to improvise and a way to sort of just buy some time. So what I do with Rashford here is a step over into this spin skill move, you know, whatever that, I don't know why I thought of it, I was just locked in the moment. And then from there, that gave the time for the runner to come across, and then we can play the ball for an empty net. That was an absolutely beautiful goal. That's worth one more watch, man, because he got absolutely sent with a skill move. Bang. And then from there, we scored the goal. I was very impressed with that one. I can't lie to you guys. Very fortunate there again. You know, could have easily been a goal. This guy from kickoff was an absolute menace. It just is difficult. Like, it shows you even at the very highest level, people are going to concede and score kickoffs. You know, it just feels pretty out of your control. Beautiful, beautiful ball from Hullet there. Green time Trivella. So that whole phase of play is something that you can take from. So if we go all the way back here, actually. So this whole move starts. I'll tell you when it starts. Is we get the ball here with Adeyemi, okay? So that pass with Adeyemi, what's very important is that that's an L1 pass, because that's going to send him running forward. And you can see there he's moving. I know he's running forward, so as soon as I get the ball with Hullet here, who is my CDM, I know that I've got a runner out wide. Pullet has obviously got some passing play styles and the high level passing and the 5-star weak foot. So I'm thinking I've got a good chance of this through ball getting off. So we ping the through ball with Hullet. It's an absolutely beautiful pass. And then if you're ever at this angle, it doesn't matter that you're outside the box, you know, at an out wide angle. These Trivellas can go in from anywhere. So we hit the Trivella, green timed finish. And on another day, that just can fly in. It's a good attempt, and we do end up winning a corner from it, so at least that's a bonus as well. I sort of messed up my corner routine there, which was a bit annoying. And we've got to be careful of the counter. You can see our opponent is player locking. So the way we defend this is we're dragging players back and just making sure that any obvious through balls are covered. Super important. So you see here, we're trying to stay onto his players. We switch to the fullback and we step in and we do mark the danger. We get a bit fortunate, you know, that the ball bounces back to us, but a player lock there, which was very important. We go for an over-the-top with Rashford. We get super fortunate there. It was good play, but at the same time, I'm surprised it worked. So originally, this player lock, that's super important, because I believe that without a player lock, this pass actually just does not go through, like full stop. So you see here, where Rashford's running, if you don't player lock here, that pass is not going through. It's locking onto the guy that he's controlling. But with the player lock, you see how I move Rashford ever so slightly there just to stop the run. And then we can play the pass inside. From here, the vision was obviously an over-the-top ball to Govu over there, top of the screen. It sort of didn't really pan out sort of like that. You know, the ball didn't go into the space. You're expecting his defender every day of the week to win it from this position. But Govu sort of jumps in from here. As soon as I took that touch, I knew that the opponent was going to be panicking, like for sure. So we take one more touch around his defender here. And what I do is I slow down and I'm waiting for that goalkeeper movement to see where he's going to go. That is what decides whether you're shooting into the far or near post. You wait for the keeper movement. So if you watch Casillas here, you're going to see he shifts him over ever so slightly, and then it opens up that near post, and that is 4-1. And what happens in the rest of the game here is not really too much. We then get to after half time, and our opponent eventually is just going to stop playing, and then it becomes the end of the game. As soon as he sees that we're just time wasting and managing the game, which is always what you should be doing, by the way, at this point, then, you know, he sort of gave up. That was really unlucky. If we go back here, that is something you can actually line up and add into your game. So this exact phase of play, where you're sort of passing it around the back, you get the ball into the midfield. As soon as you pass into your striker, you want to trigger your winger on a run. So as this ball is coming into Rashford here, I'm triggering Adeyemi on a run. And then a first time through ball, straight over the top. And on another day here, look, this could have easily been a penalty. It does sort of foul us, but we create a chance anyway. Super unlucky. But from this point, the opponent stops playing. We're going to secure our 15 ando. And I do hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or anything like that, please do ask. I love helping you guys out. I will catch you on the next one. And peace.